before you today with the understanding that no matter what the outcome of the protest ballot, which I gather is currently underway and not yet complete, but maybe by the time we finish, even if it is positive, meaning it upholds the proposal, that by virtue of the fact that we have this public hearing, that there is still an opportunity that we can voice our thoughts and that there's an opportunity to modify the proposed rate increases before they're put into effect. I want to start by making it clear that I'm not opposed to a rate increase, but I do have concerns about the proposed amount of the increase, like some of the former speakers. And it's over the 7-year period. And as the speaker before me indicated, it'll almost double the amount that we will be paying 7 years hence and then the years out. I have basically 3 issues that I would like to address, all of which is intended to reduce the proposed rate increases. First, perhaps one of the most significant reason for the proposed rate increases relates to the anticipated $17.2 million water system capital improvements over the next 7 years. The list is shown on attachment E of the staff report that relates to this meeting. One of the expenditures listed on the attachment E is the Valley View utility relocation in the amount of $702,000. I question why it is included on the list of expenditures when the city's proposed 2014-15 budget states, and I quote, "It is anticipated that the relocation will occur during fiscal year 2014 and 15, and the estimated cost of $702,000 will be reimbursed fully by Caltrans." So it seems that it shouldn't be a burden on the users to have to also absorb this in a rate increase. The next issue relates to allocating some of the city's general fund reserves to the water system capital improvements. And I know our city manager doesn't like to hear that. As stated in the staff report, the water system is viewed by many as the ultimate essential service system, that it is ultimate essential service and improvements to the water system cannot be deferred indefinitely. And that is why in part that I'm not opposed to rate increase, because I believe that we need to keep the infrastructure strong, or we will have one of these blow-ups like they did at UCLA in Westwood and the countless others that have occurred since. It seems like on a weekly basis we hear about water mains breaking and flooding the neighborhood and disrupting service. Therefore, it's on this premise that it is an essential service that I believe the use of a small percentage of the general reserve fund can be justified. According to the city manager's budget message, and I'm quoting it, he says, "It is estimated that the city's general fund reserve will be approximately $54.2 million. As this amount is unrestricted and it is available for use for any purpose deemed necessary by the city council. For the coming year, our current ratio," this is again relating back to the statement by the city manager, he states that for the coming year, our current ratio of general fund cash reserves to the city's operating expenditures is anticipated to be approximately 65%. The report further states that in current government practice, it is believed that the reserve levels of approximately 5 to 10% are typical. 5 to 10% are typical versus our 65% of most agencies. So we're kind of lush. We're doing very well in that category. I do want to make it clear that it is commendable that our city administrators have been fiscally responsible to have amassed such a reserve. However, I believe that we should consider allocating, say, a $2.5 million of the $54 million for the water system capital improvements, specifically for those in the out years 2018 to 2019. That would still leave a balance in the reserve of over $51 million, still a very enviable level when compared to most agencies. If it is determined that the $702,000 Valley View utility relocation expense should be removed from the capital improvement list, which I raised earlier.
Ms. Thomas, your 5 minutes have expired. If you could wrap up.
Okay. Basically, we could take those two amounts, reduce the rates by $3.2 million, or approximately 18.5%. The last issue I want to raise, and I'm just going to not even really go into my state, has to do with the status of the Water Replenishment District litigation, which the city has already paid over $7 million, and we've already expensed that. It's in litigation, and it's my understanding that the outcome is viewed favorably, to be favorable by our own staff, city staff. I wanted to understand how that money will be used if it is refunded. If in fact it's in our favor and we get it back, that would be revenues in our pocket in the year that we receive the funds. Therefore, I think that my proposal is that at some future time, and maybe it's in the next year, but sometime in the 7 year, if we receive these funds back, that the city council be given the authority to go back and review the rates and even maybe lower the rate at that future date, or shorten the number of years over which this rate will apply.
Thank you.
And that would be it. Thank you very much for your attention.